Hey everyone, it's Jenny at jccards.com and it's day 4 of the Catherine Pooler Designs Zen Garden release blog hop. Today I'm showcasing the stained glass cover plate die, which is probably my favourite of the entire release. It can be used to do lots of awesome techniques, but today I'm going to show you how you can use it as a stencil, along with some hot foiling to get the look that you see here. So this is the cover plate die. It's sized perfectly to fit onto the front of an A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to die cut it from some £110 Nina Solar White cardstock. It doesn't really matter what type of cardstock you use, as long as it's relatively thick. Because it's a very intricate die, I am going to use a metal shim in my die cut machine to make sure that I get a perfect cut. Once you remove the die from the die cut machine, you'll probably find that a lot of the pieces remain in the die cut. So you just need to take a craft pick or some other sort of pokey tool and pop them all out. This is probably the hardest thing to do of this entire card, and it does take some time. But as you can see, they'll pop out perfectly, and that's the result you get. To attach the die cut to my card panel, I'm using removable spray adhesive. I'm then attaching it to my card panel, which is cut slightly bigger than the die cut itself. The reason I'm using spray adhesive is if you just use tape like this, because it's such an intricate die, when we apply our medium over the top, there's a chance that some of the medium will get underneath the stencil, and using the spray adhesive stops that from happening. I'm now applying with a palette knife Decofoil transfer gel. This is similar to an embossing paste, it's a bit gloopier. And once it's dry, you can actually use it in your hot foiling machine, such as your mink or a laminator, to actually apply foil down over the top. Lift up the stencil using tweezers or a pokey tool or a knife as I'm using here, and gently and slowly move it off to the side so that you don't disturb any of the gel, and then set it aside to dry. I would recommend removing any of the excess with a palette knife if you can, because otherwise this will get foiled when you pass it through your machine. And this is the result when it's dried. It will be translucent, hard to the touch. I'm now going to foil it using Decofoil iridescent foil. This is my most favourite foil. It's amazing. It looks like liquid mercury or holograms. And I'm placing it in the carrier sheet for my mink machine and placing the foil with the pretty side up into the carrier sheet and passing it through my mink. And by the magic of video editing, you don't have to wait as long as I did for it to pass all the way through. Once you remove it from the machine, you can peel off the top and you're left with an amazing dimensional foiled beautiful card panel, and you can see why I think this is the best foil, the iridescent. It reminds me of a disco ball. Isn't it gorgeous? To finish my card, I've trimmed down the panel and I'm placing it onto an A2 size card base, trimmed down to 11 by 4 1/4 and scored at 5 1/2, and I've added some foam tape to the back of the panel. I'm keeping this relatively simple, so I'm using the U and the thanks die from the new release by Catherine Pooler, and I've die cut those from black cardstock. And because I want this to say thank you, I'm just trimming off the S. I'm then going to adhere it to the front of the card panel using some strong adhesive. I used glossy accents. And there you go. So awesome. I'm also going to show you some other cards I made using this stained glass panel. Here's some actual stained glass. I used Nuvo drops to create this. If you look in my videos, and I'll link it below, I'll show you how you can do this technique. This card uses the cover plate die as a stencil again and uses spray mists to achieve the look you see here. I embellished it with a butterfly from the Faithful Flutterings stamp set from the new release. The link to the blog hop is down in the video description below. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and left me a comment. Have a great day. Bye.